This video is sponsored by Brilliant. This is me managing to avoid work repeatedly, somehow doing everything except the thing I set out to do. Hi everyone, it's Simon, and if you watch this channel, I think you might assume that I've kind of got my stuff together. But the truth is, I've struggled with procrastination for years. And I know that I'm not alone. It's that frustrating feeling of doing everything always and being busy, but never actually making progress on what actually matters. If you recognize this, well, I'm not surprised. It's probably why you've clicked on this video. I've spent the last month researching the science of procrastination and testing what actually works. And in this video, I'll take you through the exact system that started to work for me. And when I started doing these deceptively simple things, as someone who easily gets distracted, something unexpected happened. I stopped relying on motivation, I made faster progress on creative work, and I even started enjoying downtime because I'd actually earned it. I've also dropped you some links to the best books and articles that I discovered while researching this, and they're in the description if you want to go a little bit deeper. First, I think it's important to acknowledge that for many, procrastination can be a lifelong battle with various contributing factors, whether that's mental health conditions like depression, ADHD or OCD, or simply just that your brain is wired a little different to some other people. So let's start here. What if procrastination isn't a willpower problem, but it's a belief problem? There's a question in Greg McKeown's book, Effortless, that changed how I approached hard work this month and made a difference. What if it could be easy? No, not lazy, not low effort, just less friction. Most of us grow up believing that if something's worthwhile, it must be painful, and that if we're not suffering for it, we're probably doing it wrong. Or the research completely disagrees. Psychologist Carol Dweck's work on the growth mindset shows that people who see effort as a path to improvement, not proof of inadequacy, are more likely to persist when things get hard. And Angela Duckworth's work on grit backs that up. Gritty people, they're not always more motivated, they just don't make quitting their default. So the idea is, instead of working harder, try finding ways to work differently. Rather than forcing yourself to power through, try asking, well, how can I make this task feel lighter? Here's a few ways to cultivate a growth mindset to try. You can notice your fixed mindset thoughts. I'll never be good at this. Change that to, I'm not good at this yet. You've got to challenge negative self-talk. This is too hard. You can change to, this is challenging, which means I'm growing. And celebrate your efforts, not just your results. So focus on the process, not just the outcomes. But look, mindset alone isn't enough. Next, let me show you some of the specific systems that can transform how you approach work completely. And if you're finding this helpful so far, well, take a moment to hit the like button and let me know in the comments what your biggest procrastination trigger is. Love to hear from you lot how all of this kind of shows up for you. So number 2, make it stupidly simple to start. Have you ever heard this phrase? Design beats willpower. That's BJ Fogg. And to do that, we need to design systems and habits that we can fall back on. And this is the simplest system that I could find that helped me the most. Implementation intentions. It's really simple. If X happens, then I'll do Y. Here's an example. If I sit down with a coffee, I'll open my writing doc and set a 5-minute timer. That's it. You pre-decide what happens next. No debating, no spiraling, just do the thing. Then stack that with the Pomodoro technique, which is, you've probably heard of it, 25 minutes on a timer and 5 minutes off. It's the perfect combo. Quick start, short sprints, built-in breaks. And my cat loves Pomodoro breaks. She thinks I'm inventing them to give her a cuddle or lap time or whatever. Spoiler, I think she's probably right. Okay, before we get into the real question floating around here, what if my procrastination is more than just a bad habit? Let me first tell you about one of my favorite ways to learn and shift how you think, and that's actually with today's partner, Brilliant. Now, if you're serious about using your time more intentionally, instead of calling mindless scrolling a break, Brilliant is the perfect way to rewire your thinking in that sense. You can dive into topics like maths, AI, and data, or just build a powerful daily habit that sharpens your brain in 15 minutes a day. Even on days I'm struggling to focus, I can actually show up for this. Now, each lesson is hands-on. You solve problems, explore concepts visually, and actually build understanding, which is proven to be 6 times more effective than passive learning. And because it's fun, it actually does stick. So lately I've been loving their logic course, full of puzzles and brain training challenges that sharpen how you think, and it's actually genuinely satisfying. So to try everything that Brilliant has to offer free for 30 days, head to brilliant.org/bettercreating and get 20% off their annual subscription. So thank you, Brilliant, for sponsoring this video. Okay, number 3, it's not just you. Let's get real for a second. If you've ever felt that procrastination is more than just a bad habit, that could well be true, because often it's not about the task, it's about how your brain handles discomfort. Procrastination can be tied to things like ADHD, where task initiation can feel like climbing a wall, depression, where energy and focus just collapse, OCD or perfectionism, where fear of doing it wrong blocks you before you even begin. And we probably have all felt these. Even without a diagnosis, you might feel stuck because of something called present bias. That's our brain prioritizing short-term comfort over long-term reward. So if procrastination's roots lie in the emotional or cognitive, not just organizational, what can we actually do to help? Well, number 1 is check out some CBT techniques, cognitive behavioral therapy. It helps to reframe internal scripts like, I can start even if I don't feel like it. Momentum often follows action. Studies show even self-guided CBT significantly reduces procrastination and improves anxiety and well-being. I've actually been using ChatGPT to give me a bit of coaching or therapy on this. Try it, it's amazing. Number 2 is habit scaffolding. Don't try to overhaul your life, build small scaffolds. So research shows starting with consistent micro goals builds grit and resilience over time. So try some of these. The if-then cue. If it's 10 a.m, then I open my script doc. A fixed start ritual, same time, same space each time. Or maybe a laughably easy first step like write 1 sentence. These reduce resistance and build momentum daily. And then there's number 3, making procrastination just harder than working. Hear me out on this one. Environment design is really powerful. You can make procrastination paths more difficult. Try using website blockers during work sessions, put your phone in another room, create a dedicated workspace that just allows you to go into some deep work. And then of course, there's one of my favorites, which is number 4, to offload your brain somewhere else. I actually stopped trying to remember everything a few years back. Instead of juggling my to-do list, ideas, deadlines, and distractions in my head, I used a system that holds it all for me. And that has all become my Notion Life OS, my digital second brain. It helps you plan, organize, stay focused, especially if your brain runs 10 tabs at once. I've also made a simplified version, and it's been amazing how many positive comments I've actually had for this Notion template from users who struggle with prioritizing or have ADHD, and I'm really glad that this has been helping you guys out. So if you haven't checked out my Notion templates, you can find them at bettercreating.com/lifeos, link in the description. Bottom line, you're not lazy, you're not broken, you just need better tools, clearer defaults, and less internal noise. And that brings us to the next part. Number 4, what if your habits could start doing the work for you? Let's say you've shifted your mindset. You've built some smart systems. Now you need to make it automatic. Research shows that even tiny habits like opening a doc or writing 1 sentence lower resistance over time. More importantly, they shift your identity. So you stop waiting to feel like a focused person. You become one through action. I really love this idea because it feels like you can actually make it happen. And between Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg and Atomic Habits by James Clear, the message is clear. Start small, stay consistent, and let identity catch up to your behavior. Floss 1 tooth, write 1 line. When the habit is just too small to skip, you actually do it, and that's where you build real momentum. So here's a pro tip. Make your goals specific, so like 10 minutes outlining this video. Winnable, you can do them while tired, and value linked. You'll want to do them because you'll see the value. Because when your habits reflect what matters to you, procrastination loses its grip. Finally, number 5, work less, rest properly. So here's the twist nobody tells you. Most procrastinators aren't lazy, they're exhausted. And that is definitely me at the moment. They're stuck in a busy trap. Always working but never finishing, always tired but never resting. That's where real rest has to come in. Not guilt scrolling, not accidental naps on top of your laptop. I mean, intentional breaks, my friend. We need to take them, which is what I'm going to do after this. This is where tools like Pomodoro cycles really shine because they don't just help you start, they also help you stop. And to that end, I really recommend picking a color in your calendar and blocking off time that just says, lie down with cat, guilt-free. Because rest isn't a reward for productivity, it's what makes productivity actually possible. Whew, okay, so that's the plan so far, the exact system I've been using to get me some actual positive results this month. Shift your mindset, build systems that carry the load, automate your starting points, create identity-based micro habits, and rest like you mean it. So make sure to check out Brilliant via the link below. And if you want a system to hold stuff for you, so you've got a spare brain, you can find my Life OS and other smaller Notion templates at bettercreating.com. But hey, we might have solved how you start, but without a clear sense of where you're going, you still might find yourself stuck. So I recommend that you watch this video next, where I'll actually show you how to build a yearly vision that actually sticks and happens, and how to make those goals actionable without burning out. It would be great if you click my face to subscribe if you hadn't. It's amazing to have you here at the channel. Check out the other videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.